If you get to the end of the month and think, where did all my money go? Here's your chance to steal our monthly budget checkup tips. This is the third video in a 4-part video series, all designed to help you successfully set up your monthly spending plan, aka budget, for the year 2025. Now, if you've missed some of the first few parts of this series, no worries. We're going to link the complete playlist at the end of this video.
The easiest way to get into this topic is to show you what our monthly budget meetings look like.
Along the way, we're going to give you some tips. They'll help you to develop some healthy money habits, which ultimately will help you to save more money. But if you don't know us, I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry.
This is Under the Median, where every week we talk about practical frugality.
The very first thing that we do is we analyze our spending.
Where did the money go all month long? That's a question that you should be able to answer if you are tracking your expenses every single day. This is the first thing that we do when we sit down with our cup of coffee and a couple of cookies for the budget meeting. You got to make the budget meeting really incentivize it. So make some cookies or buy some cookies to eat together during your monthly budget meeting. The first thing that we take a look at are those expenses, and we figure out, how did we spend our money this month? Now, that's very enlightening, and it helps us to figure out where we overspent. It also helps us figure out if there's patterns in our behavior that we really do want to change.
It's nice to analyze what we spent and look into it and decide, why did this happen? Was it some circumstances that we couldn't control? Were there some things that we did that caused it? And what can we do to get it back on track?
The other thing that we really consider is, was there money spent that was honestly a lack of proper communication between the two of us? Oftentimes he'll say, well, I thought we agreed to that, and so the money was spent. So make sure that you're having really good conversations with your partner and you are repeating back to each other what you have chosen to do with your money during that month.
Ultimately, this means that we can stick to our budget more closely and meet our financial goals quicker.
When it comes to planning your spending, you can get all of our steps in our Frugal Finance Planner Super Pack. Twice a year, we open up the Super Pack. We have our normal Frugal Finance Planner bundle, and we add 4 high-value bonuses for no extra charge. It's going to open up in January, but this year we're doing things a little differently because we have a wait list. Those on the wait list will get some incentives, you'll get some freebies, you'll get tips and information from us leading up to January, and those on the wait list also get a very special bonus that no one else is going to receive. So I'm going to leave a link so you can sign up for that wait list. It'll be in the description of this video.
The second thing that we do is we check our monthly goals. What kind of progress are we making toward those goals?
If we have successfully reached some of those goals, we ask ourselves whether we want to repeat that goal in the next month or whether we want to start out with a new set of goals. Now, we did a step-by-step tutorial on how we set those goals, and that's in part 2 of this video series.
Setting goals for the month keep you focused on your budget.
As I alluded to just a second ago, the next thing we do after we've looked at this month's goals is we create a new set of goals for the next month.
Briefly, you want to create 2 or 3 budget goals for the next month. Keep it simple. Don't make it too complicated, and that way you can track and follow them much better.
For us, we've discovered if we get any more than 3, sometimes we've had 4, but honestly, it gets pretty unwieldy pretty quickly because you're really taking time to focus on specific goals. And if you get going too many different directions at once, it just doesn't serve your purpose as well as focusing on 2 or 3 things at the same time.
You want a set of 3 to 5 steps to support each goal. That helps you to attain the goal.
And once again, you want step-by-step instructions. We're going to make sure that part 2 of this series is linked up above. We'll also put it in the description of this video.
The fourth item that we do is that we evaluate our savings rate. How well is this coming along? It's difficult to do this when you have rising prices and varying things that are affecting these goals.
Why is that so important to us? Because we want to live on only a specific portion of our income. Whenever you plan your budget and your budget accounts for every single dollar that is coming in, now you should allocate every dollar toward a specific goal or purpose, but I'm talking about spending every single penny so that you don't have any wiggle room at all in order to put toward short, medium, or long-term goals. That simply isn't healthy and it's not sustainable. So we track what percentage of our income is going toward those specific types of goals.
Check and make sure that you're saving as much as you planned. And if you find out that you're not, adjust your spending so you'll have more money to contribute to your savings.
This is also why the progress so far is so important to us, because by this time, if we're not meeting those monthly goals, or we're finding out that we're not saving as much as we had hoped that we would be able to, by having already looked at what we spent this month, we have figured out the patterns of behavior that are causing us to overspend, but we've also discovered where we are underspending. Those categories where you are underspending month after month after month, you've probably allocated too much for that category in your budget, which means you can cut that budget category back and you can allocate some of those additional funds toward these goals and these budget categories that you're not reaching or not following as well as you would like.
A fifth step that you can take is to check your credit report. Now, there's been some data breaches recently, and so they have suspended the once a year free data report checks. Now you can check it more often and make sure that everything is on track and that you are on the up and up in all that you're trying to do.
Right. It also shows you whether someone has tried to use your credit in order to obtain credit fraudulently. You can get those credit reports once a week now from all the big three credit reporting agencies. We really feel like once a month is enough for us, but if you want to check it more frequently than that, you should know that you can.
If you're in debt, you want to check your progress toward meeting the goals of paying those debts. If you have any money left over at the end of your month after doing all of the expense paying, you might want to put that toward paying a debt. Once you pay a debt off early, you've actually given yourself a raise in a sense.
How did we pay off debt when we were in debt? We used the snowball method. That means that we listed our debts in order from greatest to least, and we paid them off in that order. Number 7 is mine because it's definitely what I do around this house, and that is our pantry check. Once a month, take a look at your pantry. Be very aware of what's in there and maybe what is not in there that you need to stock up on. Best way to do this is to keep an up-to-date pantry checklist where you have everything listed that is in your pantry, that is in your freezer, that is in your refrigerator. We do it once a week with our refrigerator, and we call it our refrigerator cleanout method, where all of our perishable food is listed once a week. We do it on Thursdays, and we list it in a prioritized list, which means that the most perishable items, the items getting ready to turn a little bit, and you want to make sure that you get them eaten up before they go bad, those go at the top of the list, and all the way at the bottom of the list are those items like cabbage that is going to keep quite a while in your refrigerator. Then we use up those items strategically so that we throw out far less food.
The 8th thing that we look at is whether we want to sell some items. You can always bring in some extra money into your income by selling items that you no longer really need around your house. This helps for several reasons. It helps your budget and it helps you declutter your house.
These monthly money habits, which we do talk about every month in our budget meeting, are really built on our quarterly goals and our yearly goals. Now, we gave you step-by-step instructions earlier in this series on some things that you may want to be thinking about in the fourth quarter of 2024. These things will set you up for success when you begin the budgeting process in the year 2025. If you've missed either of the 2 earlier parts of this series, I linked the whole series for you right over there. Go take a look.